Hello, Dave, and welcome to this week's Just CHOPSING podcast. Well, say this week's Just CHOPSING podcast. We've got so many podcasts coming out at the moment. We don't know which week it is.
Well, yeah, I don't know what day it's going to come out on, so I just call it a day now, in case to try and maintain continuity, because I don't think anybody's caught us out yet.
No.
So far.
Well, they might do on Friday's video because we said it was Wednesday and we actually released it on Friday.
All right. Okay.
So
never mind.
Yeah. So how have you been?
Yeah, good.
You actually went out to the pub yesterday?
No, we've been making. Hang on, just pull my message. We've been making the most of the new lockdown rules. You're allowed to have 6 people in the garden. So we had a couple of friends up yesterday in the back garden, had a few beers.
Yeah.
So that was really nice because the weather is glorious today. It was really, really nice out there again. It's lush.
Well, it's nice over here, but it's pretty chilly. It's about 11 degrees, but the sun is shining,
Yeah, that's it.
So,
but yeah, I did have to take on a tramp today, unfortunately.
A tramp?
Yeah, so I had a very late night. I had a phone call in bed this afternoon.
Yeah.
My mother had been locked out of the house. And my dad had gone out on his motorbike. So basically, she was out the back painting the barbecue stand that they got, and he came out, said, give her a kiss, said "Tra," locked the back door, went out on his motorbike and locked the garage door. So she was locked out in the and he was up in North Wales somewhere.
Oh, was he?
So yeah, she was yeah. So I popped over to see because I got a spare key to see if I could get in. I couldn't because he had left the keys in the locks and turned them as well, so you couldn't push the keys out or anything. So yeah, she had to come over my house for a bit while my dad was out motorbiking. So she loved that. So she did ask Sarah, because there's a new hospital that's just opened up by us in Llanfechfur, and asked if it had an A&E department. So I don't know whether my old man's going to end up there later on.
Yeah, you might have a head injury, and not by falling off his motorbike.
That's right, yeah.
To make sure he keeps his helmet on when he goes in.
I know. So yeah, so that was nice. So yeah, got a visit off the mum as well. So that was lovely.
Yeah.
So and then special. And then he came over. He was a bit sheepish when he came over. But there we are.
Oh, right, okay.
So I think he'll be keeping his head down now for the rest of the day.
He must be getting old.
Yeah, well, he's on about changing his bike.
What bike has he got now?
I don't know. It's a bigger 1100 thing, but I just think now he's getting a bit older. It's getting a bit heavy for him, and his knees ache and stuff when he's been out on it.
Is it a sports bike or?
Yeah. But I think he's on about maybe getting like a 470. He said earlier on, because it's like basically both his feet are going to be flat on the ground, whereas at the moment he's kind of like on tiptoes when he's
moving. Yeah, he's really short, and he's shorter than me, I think.
Yeah, short. Yeah.
I'm a midget, so
yeah, that's it. So yeah, he's on about changing it just so we can make sure he's still got a bike. But yeah. So he went up. I don't know. I think he normally goes up to like Birthwells and Ryder Dams and all that. And
nice.
Makes the most of the sun and out on his bike.
Yeah.
Corned beef sandwiches, which again he stole the corned beef out the fridge. I was going to go on that dinner.
Okay.
She wasn't happy about that. He's proper in the doghouse today. That was well funny.
Yeah, I was supposed to go and look at a bike yesterday, but circumstances didn't allow it. So I had to take my daughter back to her mother's, and she lost the keys to a car, so she wasn't even fucking in.
Oh God!
So that was another hour wasted.
Yeah.
So yeah, but never mind.
Nightmare, innit? Nightmare.
Yeah. So we. Yeah, we've had a pretty good week. We've made some contacts for some podcasts, and we've got some good response back as well.
Yeah,
got a few more no's again, or maybes, but not at this time, sort of stuff, because people are busy. But yeah, we're doing okay, I think.
Yeah,
we've got a lot coming up, so
mega busy week from today on, aren't we?
From today on, we're recording every day. So
yeah, that's right. And I've got a couple more as well that have come through now that are interested in coming on as well. So there's another chap that owns the venue that I go to. and he's a musician as well. So he said he'd like to come on and talk about what it's like owning a venue during a pandemic and all that. And
well, there's not much to talk about there.
No, not at the moment. He's just he's spending a lot of money and time doing it up, I think.
Well, I think that's the best thing for businesses, you know.
Yeah,
it's no good just closing for almost a year and then reopening and everything is the same.
that's
I know there's no money coming in, but it is a good idea to revamp the place and make it a little bit special for when people do come back, because you're obviously going to put your prices up a little bit.
Yeah,
you know, and if people are walking in and they don't see any change, and all the prices have gone up by fucking 10%, then they're going to want to know why. A lot of people don't understand it's because of the pandemic, you know. But if you actually splash a bit of paint around and move a few things around and say, hey, this is, you know, the welcome to the new look, then at least they can see you're still making an effort while the place is shut down, you know.
Yeah, that's right. He said he's done some work outside as well, because it's, you know, sort of like in between the artists, you know, there was opportunity. Obviously, the smokers were going outside smoking and all. Yeah. We had benches and all, but he said he's revamped that as well. He's revamped the inside. I don't know whether because he's got like a bar area, and then you go into the venue next door.
Okay.
But done any work in there or not, I'm not sure. But yeah, he can tell us about that when he comes on. Oh. So I've had many a good night up there, to be honest. Okay. He's had some good bands up there, so he can tell us about that. And the artists that he's had up there, so that'll be good. So yeah, and then we got Uncle Paul coming on today.
Uncle Paul?
Yeah, my uncle, who you haven't met yet, considering he's your uncle.
How is he my uncle?
Well, he's not my uncle either.
Oh, okay. I thought he was the son of the turkey farmer.
That's right, yeah. Uncle Matthews. So he's coming on today. But funny enough, Sarah sort of works with his wife, because I'm not sure what his wife does, but whether she's an OT or something.
She's a turkey plucker.
Yeah, that's right. But so I heard him chatting, and she was saying about Paul coming on the podcast. So I don't know if Sarah got him in trouble before he even come on, because I think he's redoing his house as well. So I think he's quite busy at the moment. So but he said he can come on and spend some time with us today.
Okay, well, I've just sent him the link actually, so I'll need to check my mail to make sure it hasn't bounced back, because he's got a bit of a strange email address.
That's right, yeah.
But it's all, oh, hang on a minute. No, that's okay.
Yeah, cool.
It looks okay, yeah. So
we'll
just wait for him to come. We'll just have a nap. I did have a story from the news.
Okay.
But I can't remember it again, because my Alzheimer's is getting really bad lately. I only looked at it this morning as well.
Did you?
Oh, I just seen one about a roller coaster stuck somewhere. I don't know if it was in a park in the UK, but everybody was stuck 230 feet up, and they all had to walk down. So I bet that was quite scary.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that. I would not like that.
No, I don't think you'd be on the roller coaster in the first place. But
no, I wouldn't. Definitely not. I'd be stood at the bottom laughing at them all.
Yeah, all cautiously taking off their seatbelts and walking down the track.
Yeah, imagine if they were stuck upside down.
Oh, that'd be a nightmare, wouldn't it? Well, then they got to get the fire brigade, haven't they?
Yeah.
You know, with their little
popping out after 10 minutes.
Their Simon Snorkel truck, and then they have to go up. I don't even know if a Simon Snorkel truck would go that high, will it? 230 feet. That's a long way up, man.
So that's miles up, yeah. Well, not miles. A quarter of a mile.
It's a bit of a kilometre.
That's right. Yes, a bit up there. That wouldn't be for me. Definitely not. When we went to Florida, Sharon went on a ride with Sarah's mum. Well, the kids went on it with her. It was like a water log flume thing.
Yeah.
And we were stood at the bridge, because they go underneath the bridge, and we were there for like half hour, and they hadn't come down, and then it come down, and that broke down. I did. So they ended up having to, like, climb down the side of the mountain on the inside of it. Yeah.
Oh, nightmare.
Yeah.
At least it was only a log flume. They could have swum. Right. They could have swum if they needed to.
That's right.
Jump off the top.
That's it.
Yeah, but no, I don't fancy getting stuck on a roller coaster myself.
No, definitely not.
But,
I wouldn't be fun. I've been quite lucky. I don't think I've been ever stuck on any rides. Not even, because normally the big wheels always used to break down, didn't they, back in the day when you were kids?
Yeah. Well, they're not breaking down, Dave. They just stop at the top to let people on and off. You just thought they were breaking down.
Maybe that's what it was, yeah. Well, I got this.
Mum, stopped. Yes, David, they letting people on. I'm not really a fan of the big wheel either, to be honest. I've never been on a London Eye or anything.
No, I didn't mind like the octopus. Was it octopus or something?
Yeah.
Octopus or something?
Yeah.
Didn't mind that.
Yeah, well, we went on a big wheel at the festival a couple of years ago here. Yeah, it gives me the shivers, man. It's like, you know, I've done a bungee jump and that, and a few different things, a bungee ball, but yeah, I don't know. There's something about the big wheel. Is something about stopping at the top, I think.
Yeah.
Gives me the fucking willies. No, not the willies, but the EGBGs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another ride, that is.
Yeah. That's a women's ride.
That's it, yeah.
Oh, don't upset the LBGTQRSTUVWXYZ community.
No, definitely not. Yeah, you definitely
they get more letters every month then, lot.
I know they are.
I don't know where they're going to start. They're going to be getting the whole alphabet in soon.
They will be. Got to be done. There's 26 of them, so they've got plenty of scope.
There's not 26 letters in the Welsh alphabet.
In there?
No.
Well, everything's doubles, so don't we double up? So when you have to like double D.
Yeah, but there's not 26 letters, is there?
I don't know. I did Welsh when I was 11 and dropped it. So,
yeah. I think there's 24 or 25.
Is it? Don't know.
I can't remember. It's a long time since I did Welsh as well. So
yeah.
I can't even learn Dutch. I've been here for fucking 20 years. So.
I struggle with English. That's hard enough.
Yeah, me too. And I just like to say, actually, that I might come across as a bit of a dummy sometimes, but I'm not really that thick, you know. So I'm just Welsh. Because I listened back to our podcast with David Johnson. I sound like a fucking idiot, I think.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think I was all right.
Some of it was all right, but at the beginning I was just a bit, I don't know, it was a bit weird. At the beginning I just thought it was a bit weird. I was like, fucking hell, I just sound like an idiot.
I didn't notice. I thought it was all right. I thought it sounded good.
We got a really good response from that video, actually.
Yes, it's had more hits than the others, and it's been out less amount of time. So it's overtaken the Big Dirty and James Kennedy.
And it's over a little bit. I can't speak now. It's even overtaken our first episode.
Yeah, I know.
Which is sad. But I'll tell you what, it hasn't overtaken. My little Just Chopsy video where Chopsy's giving me a kiss.
Yeah.
Because that's got like 150 odd views now. So
that's fast.
That's flying.
Yeah.
Literally. Well, the bird wasn't flying. She was on my shoulder. But,
the one this morning you shared was funny when she's fast asleep under your beard.
Yeah, that's her favourite place now. Because she used to sleep in my girlfriend's scarf. You know, because when we had her, she was only like 6 weeks old, so she didn't have all her feathers yet. So for the warmth, she always slept in my girlfriend's scarf on her neck. You know.
Yeah.
She had like a shawl. We call them a shawl. Yeah, shawl. In Dutch, it's a shawl. So, but it's a scarf, and she always slept in a scarf. But now she's like got her feathers because now she's like 8 weeks old, and she's actually learned to fly, so she's flying a bit now as well. She sort of like dumped my girlfriend, and she wants to sleep under my beard all the time. so my girlfriend's getting a bit jealous now.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, you're gonna have to watch mine because when she might end up, because obviously with her being a girl, I don't know whether it's the girls in budgies that nest. She might end up plucking your beard to take hair to put into her cage.
She might do. I think she's already started. She can take them off the floor if she wants. There's plenty on the floor.
Yeah.
Especially in the bathroom. But yeah, it's a funny little bird. It's really like confident around us, and obviously because we're still hand feeding it as well, you know. So it's not afraid of anything. She was in a shower with my daughter the other day.
Mad, isn't it?
And she's got like loads of little bird confidence about her. It's got a little bit of a swagger. She tells you when she's not happy and tells you when she is happy. And yeah, it's a funny little thing. I never knew birds could be like that. You know, I'd never had that experience with a bird myself.
No.
So I've been quite surprised by it, really. You know, for something so small to be, it can give you quite a little bit of love. Actually, it's that's surprising.
Because lots and lots of people keep them, don't they? And you know, lots of birds in the house as well, and they do really imprint on people, very closely, and they'll just sit on you all day, and then
and shit on you all day,
and shit on you,
fucking thing. I posted one this morning.
Yeah, I seen it.
Oh, that video, and she got out and she like stood by the head. She didn't actually go, but it looked like she was like doing a dog thing and moving her leg,
Yeah.
So I said, "Oh, fucking thing's pissing on me now." But she didn't actually go to the toilet. She'd already been under my beard on my t-shirt somewhere.
Yeah.
Fucking thing. I'm just glad that she doesn't actually get in my beard. So
yeah,
good nightmare always. Because I can actually smell it, and my girlfriend's quite amazed, that she said, "Oh, can you smell that? How can you smell it? Because I can't smell it, when the bird has a fucking poop on me, I can always smell it straight away." And I've got a really good sense of smell. So she's like, "I can't smell it when it's on me." And I'm like, "Well," and her brother came over today and he's like, "Nah, you can't smell it." I said, "I can smell it. When it poops on me, I can smell it, But it's a funny little thing.
Great, isn't it? It's great.
Yeah, it's nice. It is, She doesn't like to be in a cage. She always wants to be with somebody. So that's a little bit difficult at times, especially when you're cooking or, because we don't want her flying over the cooker.
No.
So,
no. Yeah, spoiling, I see.
Yeah.
That's it, isn't it?
So, she is spoiled. Hang on a minute. What are you doing? I'm being past something. There she is. She's come to say hello. Hello, say hello. She can't really speak yet, but hello. Oh, David's iPhone's gone.
Oh, he's trying to ring me through Messenger. Paul is.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
That's maybe
he's struggling. Maybe he's struggling. Let me decline in a minute. Maybe he's struggling to connect. Perhaps. Have you had an email back off him or anything?
Let me have a look. No, nothing. Oh, hang on. Let me check junk.
Yeah, he's trying again.
No, I've got nothing back. I sent him the email, so
yeah. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll hold and accept this call a second because maybe he's struggling to connect. Just a second.
Talk amongst ourselves. Okay. Well, I'll have to talk to the bird. Hello. David's just had to go on a phone call because our guest can't get through. Huh? That's the beard, yeah. Our guest can't get through. No. So you want to go under the beard? You can't, because I'm only going to tease you then, and I look now. Now you're only going to get teased, and you'll probably poop on me again. And I just put a clean t-shirt on. So my mother's being naughty. She's laughing in the background. But yeah, as you can see, the bird loves it in my beard. David's just disappeared for a few minutes, so we're calling it Chopsy's segment. And then where is she? Because I got my cable on. I can't. Where is she? There she is. Because I'm sort of like backwards in the thing. So yeah, it's like magic, isn't it? It's like doing a magic trick. Make the bird appear or disappear. Yes, I'm going to go back to your mother. Okay, go back to your mother then. Bye. So, I don't know how long David's going to be away for. What shall I do to entertain you? Shall I sing you a song? Shall I tell you a joke? I don't really know any jokes. Oh, I'll tell you what I did do today. I sent a tweet. I sent a tweet out to the Twitter with some animal names. So the animal names were Jack Rabbit. So Jack Rabbit was on drums. Jack Rabbit was playing drums. Don Keys was on guitar. Alpaca was on bass, I think. And on vocals was, I don't know, did I already say vocals? I had another animal, I can't remember what it was now. But and then underneath I said, "We are not the animals." So it was just a silly tweet. You probably have to read it. So if you go to our Twitter site, it's actually just CHOPSING on Twitter, and then you can follow us if you have Twitter. I don't know how many of you have Twitter, because you don't really seem to interact much in the group. So, which is a shame, because we like to know our followers, get to know them a bit better, and yeah. So what do you say? I don't know what to say. I think my cousin Neil is getting married in a few weeks. Unfortunately, he's only having 10 people at his wedding because of COVID restrictions. But I think now that those COVID restrictions have lifted, then maybe he could have a few more people there. I can't come because we're still not allowed to travel, but which is a bit of a shame, because we were supposed to go to his wedding. We went to his brother's wedding, which was quite a lavish affair in the Celtic manner. So, yeah, very posh day out. Very nice too. So there's a shout out to you, Andrew, George, and Gemma. Thank you for your wedding invite. And I know it was a bit last minute for me. I had to come last minute. Oh, David's come back. Hello.
Hello, I'm back.
What happened?
I just sent you. Is Paul's not online, is he?
I don't think so.
Okay, he said he hadn't received the email.
Okay.
But I've just sent you another email address to try, because I haven't.
Well, that's not good. My phone's upstairs.
All right.
Otherwise, it interferes with the radio.
All right.
I'll go and get my phone. I'll tell you what I'll do.
Pause it.
I'll go and get my phone. No, I'm not going to pause it. I just had to talk on my own for 2 minutes. So now you can talk.
So what were you talking about?
I actually talked about nothing. So now you can talk about something.
What am I supposed to bloody talk about?
I don't know. You just left me. You left me to it. So now you can do it. I'll go and get my phone. Hang on a minute. Right. You talk to the viewers and listeners.
Yeah. So I'll talk about nothing then, shall I? Well, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I got to be honest. Apart from the weather's nice, it's very, very sunny. We're waiting to have Paul Matthews join us, who's a member of a band called Who Knows Didley, or Didley. I keep calling it Didley. He'll end up thumping me for that. But he's also done some other things as well in his lifetime. So we'll go through that. I know he's done a bit of MMA fighting, and he's into wild camping. So I'll have a chat with Paul about that. So I'll be good. And I'm just going to pretend I was talking about nothing. Nothing is kind of like a concept where there's nothing, and there's nothing there. It's empty. Solitude. You got it?
I'm going to look at it now, but I'm going to have to disappear again, so I'll need to take my phone away.
Okay.
Paul, man.
Yeah, don't say it.
Okay.
I sent it to you. Anyway, I can have a beer. So I didn't get too steaming last night. I was well behaved, so I can have a beer this afternoon.
Oh yeah. I was going to have a beer as well. I bought some Guinness earlier.
Yeah. I'm having an Amstel, which is quite nice light.
Oh, I don't like Amstel.
But I don't mind an Amstel. So I thought I'd have one of them. I moved from the ladies' drink, from the Strongbow dark fruit, so I'm having an Amstel instead.
Okay. No, Amstel's Dutch beer. It's brewed over here.
And it's drunk over here.
It's horrible. That's why.
I like it. It's all right. They serve it. What it is, I only got into it recently because they serve it in a few of the venues that we go to.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it's quite light. It's very light, isn't it? So it's not.
I don't know. I don't really like it.
Yeah, you can drink a vat load of it.
Yeah.
And still have room for a kebab at the end of the night.
Okay. But no money left, so you can't afford one.
That's right.
But I sent that mail.
Okay.
I'm going to get rid of my phone again because it buzzes otherwise.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. I'll just carry on drinking it. Make sure you all grab a beer. So just CHOPSING and just plugging. Yeah, anyway, so while Terry's gone, I'll just mention that our the Chopsy Lot group has now got over 100 members, which is amazing. So thank you for that. Keep sharing. And we've actually got 2 super fans with stars above their name, and that's cousin Neil and my daughter Shannon.
Yes.
So if anybody else wants to comment and add stuff and all that, you all can have a star after your name or before your name or on top of your name, like Neil and Shannon. So do it, guys. Get on there and just do some chopsing.
He's in.
Excellent.
I'm back. Hello.
Okay.
Paul Matthews.
Yeah.
Nice to meet
Hello.
you. Welcome to Just Chopsing.
Yeah.
I don't know if David can see you on his phone, can he?
I can't actually. Why? Can you change the settings so we have like a gallery so we can see all each other at the same time?
Who, me?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I thought, well, I've got it in gallery. I can see the three of us.
So can I.
I can. Oh, Paul's just come on my screen now. I can only see whoever's speaking at the time.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's a setting I got to do then, is it perhaps?
I don't know.
Oh, this is
Let me have a
very
look.
unprofessional, David. I thought I was coming on to bigger and better things than this.
He should have known better, shouldn't he?
Oh, it's gone belly up before we even start.
Yeah, well, I got my beer ready. So
Happy days.
Oh, have you got a beer?
Have I?
No, yeah, has everyone got a beer? Because I haven't got a beer.
I thought you were gonna have a glass. You're gonna have a wine, one you today.
Who,
I was
me?
going to have a wine, actually, but I am going to dry out after the previous days building up to this. So,
You've had a couple of good days of it.
yeah, I've had a bit of a shape on, you know how it is. It's golden.
It's got to be done, hasn't it? Got to be done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hang on
So
now.
you're gonna
I'm
grab
so-
a beer first, you?
I'm still trying to find out where this fucking thing is. Sorry about this, Paul.
Oh, sorry. I said,
What?
Was I, you know, I don't know whether I can lower my standards now. I mean, it's you ought to know it was going to go to ratchet if I was on you anyway, you know. So.
You did warn me, didn't you?
Well, we should have we should have known because we couldn't get you on here in the first place. So now we got you on there. It's,
There's the omen right there. Can you see me all right, guys, or do I need to turn around?
you are a bit.
You're a bit bright. The
bright.
background's very bright. Yeah.
Hold on, man. Oh,
There we go.
Oh, now we can see how ugly you are.
how pretty is that?
Stand back by the window.
I know. Ugly cows make a pretty calf, or so they say.
Anyway, Paul Matthews,
Yeah.
welcome to Just Chopsing podcast.
Thanks. It's lovely to be here.
Thanks for that.
Good.
And as you can see, I'm going to pour myself a beer live on air. I'm not allowed to. I'm not allowed to advertise, but
That's it.
it's black.
That's right. Well, I've known Paul. I was trying to work it out earlier on, Paul, and I think it's got to be get on 30 years that we've known each other.
Yes.
Pretty much. Yeah. Terrible.
Yeah.
You've known him longer than me.
Yeah, we work together, but for different firms. We've known each other for a long time. And then I left the firm I was working in, and we lost a bit of contact, really.
Yeah, I tried the duck and dive. You did as best I could.
I did, yeah.
I moved to Holland to get away from him.
And I think I've seen you at the Steelhouse the one year, and then the next year I was at the Swansea Fringe Festival, and I was in the audience with my missus, and I was like, "That's Paul Matthews," because I didn't even know you were in a band.
No, did I.
So how did you get into a band then, Paul?
Oh, yeah, it's a long story actually. So, my family are flat out rugby monsters. I've always played rugby from the age of like 9 or 10, and then when I got to about 18 or 19, I played for Pontypool Youth. I was never good enough to play for Pontypool because they were the best team in the area around that time in the 80s.
Yeah.
So I played for Cross Keys, and things were going okay. And then one day, a mate of mine was jamming in a cellar of a pub, and the singer didn't turn up. And he said, "Oh, do you know this song by Judas Priest?" And I said, "Yeah, I think so." He said, "Jump on the mic." So I got on the mic and sang this song. And he said, "Oh, do you want to join?" And I said, "Yeah, go on then." And, you know, he's getting kicked about in a rugby field. So course, I had to go home and break the news to our dad that I wasn't going to play rugby anymore, which he went mental with. Then I grew my hair, and then that wasn't acceptable either. And that was pretty much it. And that was around about 1990, perhaps 1989. So I did that for a couple of years, and then obviously back and forth rugby. Really, to be fair, I was in the rugby, and that was it.
How old are you, Paul? If you don't mind me asking.
How old am I?
Yeah.
I'm 28 this year.
Oh, you're older than me then.
Yeah. No, I was around when God was a boy. Let's put it like that. Yeah. I used to hang out with Jesus. Let's put it like that.
Where are you from? Are you from Cumbraen or?
Cumbranistan. I was actually born in Cumbraen.
Right.
And then we decided then to move to Aberystwyth. My dad had a farm up there, so I grew up on a farm.
Oh, right, okay.
So yeah, things were a bit different for me growing up as a child.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you might know me. That was all. If you might have known me then, back in there.
So I'm 52.
No, I'm 55, so I'm a bit older than you.
Yeah, way older than me.
You're just a teenager compared to me.
Yeah, well, I was hardly born. I was still doing the backstroke in my old man's ball bag when he was kicking about me. I'm not allowed to swear. I do apologise.
No, you can swear.
You can do what you want.
Who said you can't swear?
Well, I won't anyway.
Oh, right. My missus will tell you off, will she?
No, I just, if anybody watches it and knows me, got to set residence in here, an example.
I try and set the standard, and then Terry normally smashes it. So that's kind of like where we are. That's how our dynamic works.
That's how it works. Fair play to you guys.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so you were in bands then. Well, I knew you back in the day. I didn't know, see? I knew you were kind of like a rugby player and stuff, Paul, but I never knew you were into bands at that time, to be honest.
Yeah. It was something that I just sort of just got involved in. It was a total fluke I got involved in it, to be fair. But as growing up as a kid, like I wasn't, like my dad was a real taskmaster, so kids used to come and knock for me to go out, and my dad wouldn't have any of that because I had work to do on the farm. So I had the old school ghetto blaster, and I loved Saxon when I was growing up as a kid. They were my band, I absolutely adored Saxon. So I'd have this little ghetto blaster, and I would take the records onto the ghetto blaster, and then the quality was absolutely abysmal. And I'd be eating through batteries. I'd be up on the farm working with like Wheels and Steel and Strong Arm, the Law blasting out, and obviously AC/DC and stuff like that. They were my sort of early influences. I think the first record I ever bought myself was The Adventures of Thin Lizzy.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, just sort of progressed from there, really. I loved a band called Quartz as well. Not many people have heard of them, but I loved those. They were early influences for me, I guess. And then obviously as I got older then, I loved like Ozzy Osbourne when he split from Sabbath, and that the first album came out, Blizzard of Oz, it just blew me away. And Diary of a Madman, it was insane with Randy Rhoads. Nobody'd ever played a guitar like that before. Yeah. And he just absolutely knocked me sideways. This is unbelievable. And I was a massive Ozzy fan, and he could actually sing back then. Bless him, he's fucking shot to bits now, isn't he? But and I was a massive Jake E. Lee fan then when Jake E. Lee come on board, the Bark of the Moon tour. I saw him on that tour for the first time in Donington, 1984. And that was my introduction into like Van Halen. Because I'd never heard him before, except for the song Jump. And then seeing Roth performing up there was like, whoa, it just blew me sideways. This guy's insane,
Yeah.
And that was it. That was my baptism into it, really. That's how I got into the rock scene, and that's sort of got into it.
So the first band you're in then was it a bit of a covers band to start with, was it?
Oh no, David. Of course not.
No.
No, we were going to make it. Never mind that we played the Final Countdown, Living on a Prayer, Devil Have a Bad Name, Pour Some Sugar on Me, and all that stuff. We were going to make it, man. We were totally deluded, to be fair.
Isn't everybody in a band?
Yeah. Well, I was actually in that band. And what happened was there was a little altercation around one of the gigs, in as much as I ended up coming off the stage and taking somebody out.
Okay. Yeah.
There wasn't conforming. Yeah. The police were called. We were escorted from the venue. And then the following night of the next gig, the rest of the band members, they weren't too happy with my performance. We ended up having a mighty row. It all kicked off again. And the guy who ran the bar came running out and said, look, guys, I don't know what's going on here. It's all a bit mad. Are you going to play the gig? Or are you just going to go? I said, well, yeah, we'll play the gig, because I didn't think I did anything wrong, really. And then when I sort of contacted the guys then a couple of days later to go jamming, they all left the band.
Oh, okay. They left the band.
And then they all reformed without me.
So you're actually Paul Di'Anno.
Yeah, they all quit the band and moved on, and I was the only guy left in the band. Like, so
yeah. I think that's what happened to Paul Di'Anno from Maiden as well.
It was, yeah.
I don't know. But look, it was a polite way of saying, look, we're off. We can't cope with that sort of malarkey. So I met with a guy called Gareth Alford, who's now the guitarist in Who Knows Didley.
Right, yeah.
And he said, look, I'm writing some stuff. He was in a band called Second Nature, and they were really, they were brilliant. And they had an amazing singer. He was a session singer. He's amazing, Stuart. So basically, he said, look, do you want to come and jam? So we got together, and very quickly we got together, and yeah, we started jamming. And ironically, we supported Paul Di'Anno's Killers.
Oh, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good segue, isn't it?
Cool. Yeah.
It was a mad way of doing it. That was like 92, 93, and that was like a Who Knows Didley band then.
Okay.
And then, yeah, things sort of progressed. But then work commitments and everything else, it's just, it just wasn't going to happen for us, I guess. So,
well, you've got to make a living, eh?
Yeah, unfortunately, you have visions of stardom, but you're a billion miles away from it in reality. I mean, playing in South Wales, nobody ever gets to hear you. You never get to London, or very rarely. It's not like today with social media, you're everywhere on social media,
Yeah.
So
we spoke about that with one of our other guests the other week, because I used to manage a band. And same sort of thing, but I actually brought them to Holland.
All right.
Because I had a thing about, when the Beatles went to Hamburg in Germany, and I had that sort of vision in the back of my mind, I'll bring these guys over to Holland and they can live with me for a year, and we'll get on a road and tour and see what we can pull out of the hat, sort of thing, And I managed to get them signed, and we did some really big shows and stuff. So it was really good. It was a good idea. In the end, it wasn't a good idea, but because the band broke up, But yeah, it's like we discussed. It's 1 in a million, and it's like winning the lottery to get.
I never really set out to do that. I just said I'd just go out and play and have a good time and write some decent tunes, which is something I've yet to do.
Well, talking about that, I've got your EP here.
All right,
signed EP, yeah. Which 20 Kilo Suitcase is still my favorite track off it. I got to be honest.
Okay.
I really do like that track. And
that's a demo. That is an absolute demo. We can't really guise that up as being a record per se, but we've just recorded 4 brand new songs. Well, 4 songs. We've redone the songs then, and we worked with Emily Fry, used to be in the Digital Criminals.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I've seen that.
And Dan, her husband, and so we recorded all the stuff over at Red Rock. And then we took all the bare tracks to Emily, and then I sat down and we rewrote some of the songs and put some new lyrics in and just changed them around a little bit and freshened them up, really. We've written 6 or 7 brand new songs that we've not played live yet to anybody, but obviously with the COVID thing, we just can't get together to jam and get them out,
Yeah.
But, rejigging songs like we've done is give us the opportunity to release something out, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's where a lot of people have been doing, really. So they've been spending, making the most of the time writing stuff as opposed to being able to go out and perform it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that. So what gigs have you got coming up? Have you got anything lined up at all for Didley?
Yeah, so we've got, firstly, we're probably going to change the name of the band.
Okay.
Why?
Because we've been working with a guy, and he's just said, like he said, his name, it reminds me of a folk band. I was like, all right, okay.
So how did you come up with the name in the first place then?
Who Knows Didley?
Yeah.
Who knows Diddley squat? Who knows anything? That's what it means, you know?
Yeah. But why would you want to change the name now when you've got some equity behind you? You know, you've got tracks on YouTube, on Spotify and stuff. You've got is it an album or an EP on there I listened to the other day?
Yeah, it's probably the demo. You know, that's been taken off now, I believe.
Oh, right, okay. Well, it's still on there today, but
is it? Oh, there may be 4 songs on there, which is going to be the new launch of the EP that's coming out.
Okay.
This month, I think, with a bit of luck. If you can agree on a new name or whether or not the name stays the same, I don't know. But yeah, a lot of people just think, well, some people think that the name doesn't suit the band.
Okay.
A lot of people that have come to see us have seen us walk on stage and think, oh my God, these guys are going to be Pantera. And then when they've come from there, they say, oh, they sound like cross between Poison and Rat.
So they're going to call you Pratt.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you know, it's a bit of a I don't know. Look, it is what it is. I don't care. It's just getting out and playing. We've got a gig with a band called Kane on the 26th of June down in Hangar 18. That's our first gig back.
Okay.
There's a UK tour then with what are they called?
Batlax, is it?
Batlax, yeah. That's the end of the year. There's some other gigs in between. We've got a gig with Gin Annie, Raven Breed, Scarlet Rebels. That's the 1st of October.
Cool.
Obviously they were a few festivals, but they were cancelled, obviously.
You
just see what comes along, really.
Yeah. Certainly. I said, oh, it's cool. Oh, it's good. It's good to know that you know, you're going to be getting out this year, because you know I've not seen you. Well, the last gig I saw you at, I think, might have been at the Cumbrian Stadium Rocks. That might have been the last one, and I think that was probably just before lockdown came in, wasn't it? And you know, there was a big lineup there because you were supporting those damn crows who were flying, no pun intended, and obviously the band from Newport. Skindred, yeah, and they're huge, aren't they? So
they're fucking mad, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a good lineup.
Yeah, it was a really good thing to happen. I think, you know, we were hoping that we could do other shows in Cumbrian Stadium, to be honest. But we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, we played with Girls' School. That was all right.
Yeah. The last gig I went to see in Cumbrian Stadium was fucking Chaz and Dave, and people, and somebody else. I can't remember who else was there. I was about 14, I think.
They ever played there. That's probably why. That's probably why they binned it.
Oh man, yeah. So when I was in the band the first time round, and we sort of split up. We had a guy that was doing a bit with Bonnie Tyler, and he was bringing bands in. He brought PJ and Duncan in.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, let's get ready to rumble.
And we know who they are.
Yeah, so
fucking Ant and Dec Saturday night takeaway.
Ant and Dec, right? So he said, "Oh look," he said, "you got all these pyrotechnics and stuff." He said, "Do you think you could come down and you know, come to the show and let all the pyrotechnics off for me? You know, I said, "Yeah, I could do that for you. Brilliant." You know, so they were my pyrotechnics. I acquired them, right? But I knew a guy that knew what he was doing, right?
Oh, right, okay.
So I said, right. So we went to Cumbrian Soundwave back in the day, and we bought a load of pyrotechnics, and we waltzes off down to Barry Memorial Hall, and we had to meet PJ and Duncan and all the rest of them, and they were really nice boy. They were kids. They were in Biker Grove then, you know.
Yeah.
So they started off with "Let's Get Ready to Rumble." Watch us run. It's like Mike, and then bang, and then we let the pyrotechnics off, and it was all. I mean, the kids in the crowd, they wanted to poop between them. Do you know what I mean? They were all dead. So anyway, we stood in the back now, and then they were going to come off to a song called "Radio Rocks," and it was on a fade, and like 3 times we were going to go "Radio Rocks, Radio Rocks, Radio." And then we were going to put in this cannon that fired like all this glitter and shit out over the crowd, and everybody would be mental. So anyway, we had dithering around in the front of the stage in the pit, trying to load up these cannons that we bought. And they were only 2-pin instead of 3-pin. So we were like,
the European.
Yeah, they're not going to work. Nothing's going to go. So I'm tiptoeing across the back of the stage now, dropping in whatever we had left in the bag, right? So I loaded up these 3 canisters, and they were like, they were singing away, Radio Rocks, Radio Rocks, Radio Rocks. And then I give them the nod, like for them to stop, and the guy took the music off because they were miming.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, right.
But the guy didn't hit the music off, and it was going Radio Rock, and it was on fade. So it faded down. So I thought, I rescue the moment, just let these pyros off, blow it out all over the crowd. And I hit the button on the pyrotechnics, and they were just like little green smoke bombs. They just went. And then the music faded out. There was this little green smoke bomb. It was like sending out the Spinal Tap, man. And they looked at me, and I looked at them. And Steve King, he was raving. He was tamping. He went, what about the big end? I said, oh, you won't believe this. I said, I'm tamping, Steve. This guy is the wrong pyrotechnics, and I'm going to rip one off him when I see him. Just like these little green smoke bombs. It was just like I made him look a right pellet, man. I couldn't believe it.
Got it from Kazakhstan.
Oh, Gumbranistan, more like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was then. And then we did some work with what are they called? Yaz.
Oh yeah, I couldn't
And the
stand
plastic
it.
population.
Yeah,
I hated that song. The Only Way Is Up.
yeah,
Hated it.
yeah. They mimed to that as well. And then who else was it? Boyzone.
All right, yeah.
We did some stuff for them. Yeah, they were shocking as well. They mimed all the way through their set. That was it, really. It was just kids bands back in the day, but now they're sort of huge,
Mad,
Yeah.
Mad. How they get away with miming, innit? It's a wrong, innit? It's a wrong one.
Well, look at Total Plots, man. He did that for years, didn't he? And got away.
Yeah.
I know. I Maiden on it, when they all decided to run round and swap instruments, didn't they? Mid set because they wanted to sing live, and they were not going to.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's good. It was back in the day, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? That's it.
You do.
So, who would you say are some of the biggest bands you've played with then? With Didley.
I don't know really. We've done a few gigs. So we've done the Skinridge stuff, and we did. We've done Those Damn Crows a few times now.
Yeah.
We've done some stuff with Girls School. We were due to do Saxon, but that got cancelled because Biff wasn't very well.
Yeah.
But I suppose they've kept that quiet, so I don't know whether you might have to cut that out.
There is no editing on this show.
No, it was released that he was poorly, wasn't it? So we all know he was poorly, so that's all right.
Yeah, what else have we done? Some stuff with like Shiraz Lane, like I said, Girls School. I might have said that before. I don't know. Oh, Paul Killers. We supposed to do Wolf Spain back in the day as well. We didn't do that. It got cancelled. Bath Rocks Festival. I'm trying to think who else. Yeah, those type of bands anyway.
Yeah. So Mason Hill as well as I saw.
Oh yeah, Mason Hill. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we supported them.
Yeah. Because they're flying as well now, aren't they? So it's good to see, isn't it? Because we've been talking about it, where some of these bands are sort of managing to cross over a little bit into sort of mainstreamish audiences as well.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of rockers, people, they don't want to listen. They assume rock music. They don't want to listen to it, do they? A lot of other people. So I think the audiences are starting to grow now. So you might get a couple of trendies in your audiences going forward. You never know.
We'll see. We'll just have to take a punt on it, won't we? So what do you guys listen to like?
Well, I listen to everything. So first of all, I started off with Michael Jackson, and then as you do, and then the first sort of band I really got into, heavy metal band, would have probably been Iron Maiden. So they were the first band of Wolfsbane, and then from then on, that's it. And then the biggest one for me then was Little Angels, which are the ones that I've listened to all the way through with, and now Wayward Sons. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. So I mean, you'd be good supporting Wayward Sons, I think, because they're starting to get, starting to elevate their audiences a bit. So it'd be good to see you supporting those sort of bands as well.
It's tricky to get decent gigs. It's very incestuous, and the same people go around the same circuit. They're dealing with the same promoters. So to break that cartel is quite difficult.
It can be.
There's a lot of backhand that's going on, a lot of favors going on. I think so anyway. I mean,
yeah.
People are sniveling and licking people's bottoms and stuff to get where they need to be. But
Yeah.
I don't know, like I'm just a fat, airy guy from the valleys, man.
And I just listen to bands like ABBA and the Nolans, and
I I gotta be honest, you know, you had me there. I mean, you know, the Nolans probably one of the most estimated bands that had been.
Underestimated, yeah.
Quality tunes there for sure.
I couldn't believe it when you said you worked with PJ and Duncan. They were heroes of mine back in the day, you know.
All right. It was a travesty when they
real musicians.
Music died when those guys left. But no, seriously, you talk about ABBA, but I absolutely love ABBA. And the harmonies and the writing and the songs are still relevant today, even though they were done in the 70s.
I thought he was going to say ABBA Didley.
I loved ABBA. I grew up with ABBA, you know.
And we all grew up with ABBA, I think, you know. And music, man, I listen to everything as well. I got to be honest. You know, I couldn't categorize myself into one genre very easily. Like I explained on another podcast we did, I've grown up, I listened to everything from Bob Dylan to the Sex Pistols, you know. So I was always a big Motorhead fan, and Iron Maiden when they first came around, you know. Not too much of a fan of the Blaze Bayley stuff and that sort of shit, but but yeah, most of the early Iron Maiden stuff I was really into, and different stuff.
Yeah, I think growing up as a child, there was quite a large age gap between myself and my brothers and sisters. Like, you know, I didn't have a birth certificate. I had an apology. I did. And like, yeah.
You were born in Panteg, were you?
Yeah.
You were. I had an apology as well.
So yeah, they were like the youngest of my sisters. There's sort of 10, 11 years between us. So obviously growing up as a kid, they used to listen flat out to like 70s disco music and like Faces and T-Rex and stuff like that. So it just sticks, and I loved all that stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Loved the Bay City Rollers, I'm embarrassed to say. They used to play those flat out, and it's just gets ingrained into you, you know?
Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, it's definitely what you listen to and what you're growing up with, isn't it? Because like my old man's into the Rolling Stones and the Who, so I listen to that from a very young age, and I still listen to it today, to be honest. So definitely, yeah, you do sort of you pick up what your parents listen to, and you pick up from that. Because my kids are listening to Little Angels and Those Damn Crows and stuff like that. Obviously, they listen to their naff crap music as well. Do you know what I mean? But they have got a bit of quality in their music on their iPod, only a little bit.
My kids are flat out into rock music. My oldest boy, Kyan, he's 11. He plays double bass. He's played the Royal Albert Hall. He's quite good. He's a good musician, you know. And he's into like Heat. He loves Rammstein.
Okay.
He loves Nightwish. Inglorious, Monster Truck. And my other boy, he plays drums. He's Bryn, as we call him. He's 10 next month. He's flat out. He plays drums, as I say. You know, he's the same. So he's into Heat. So we'd be taking him up the mountain to obviously meet Kenny and those guys. Again, Shinedown. They love Shinedown. They love Pantera. They listen to anything. You know, it's so they got such a, depending who's driving the car. If they're in their mom's car, they listen to the radio, and it's all this,
pop manufactured.
If they're in the car with me, I mean, the Heat album, Heat 2, they know every word to every song on there.
Yeah, right.
It's insane. It's brilliant. I love it.
So if you get your kids in your band, you could be like the new Partridge Family then.
The time they're old enough to play in my band, mate, right? You have to wheel me on in a wheelchair. Yeah. So my wife's a pretty good musician as well, bless her. So she's classically trained.
Okay.
So she's violin. She plays harp. She plays piano. She's just one of those. She reads music really well.
Yeah.
And then there's just fucking me messing it all up.
Looking in from outside the window.
That's absolutely right.
It's a nightmare when you're surrounded by talented people, isn't it?
I know it is. There's no excuses, eh? Do you know what I mean? I can't hide from it, no.
Well, my kids enjoyed your set, but I got to be honest, because my boy came and watched you when you played at the stadium.
All right.
So, and my daughter came to the one It was the one in Pantague. If you remember, you were on the back of a lorry. And that was a great day. That was really good.
Insane. I mean,
yeah.
it was like, I don't know, 50 people there. There was those damn crows.
Yeah.
Everyday Heroes, us.
Yeah.
Some other bands, and it was just mad. I got so battered that day drinking. Both guys were Lloyd off his teeth, you know, and Shiner out of those damn crows. I love those guys. They're so down to earth and so grounded, and I sincerely hope and wish that they go sky high. They deserve it. There's no go with them. They're down to earth. They're lovely people, and I sincerely mean that. I hadn't really heard much of their music until we played them, and then having spoken to them and listened to them, I thought, wow, these guys are great, you know. And not only they're great, they're lovely people as well, and that helps a lot, you know. And they've been, sometimes I you know, the odd song we got, I'll send it to Shane and say, have a listen to this, what do you think? You come back and say, oh yeah, it's all right, or it's not all right.
Good,
I appreciate the fact that they take time to listen and come back to you and acknowledge you, you know. It's really nice. I think they got a special touch, those boys, and, you know, bless, I hope they go all the way, making massive.
Well, most Welsh people are nice, you know. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, we interviewed Pete K. Malley last week, and his podcast comes out today, and he said that, you know, his most favourite gig he was because he supported Wayward Sons, and that was the Welsh gig. He said he said it's something about Welsh fans that he said you don't get anywhere else in the UK. Although he did say that we're kind of like a cheap version of Scotland as well. I did.
He did. Yeah, I picked that up as well.
Again, yeah, I remember that again. I just didn't do it, which was funny. But he said, you know, when the Welsh are on in the crowd, they just want to party and have a good time and enjoy themselves. And you know, you see that with the performers as well. So what's really nice is, like, when you go up to Steelhouse, the guys are on stage performing, and then they're down the front in the pit with the rest of us, then watching their bands. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. So, yeah, and you know what, that's fair play to Max, you know, Mikey. What I will say about that, that's insane. Like, you know, the fact that, you know, they all walk around the festival after they're on the stage, and as you say, they're all walking around later. It's really, you know, and that's a lovely festival, to be fair.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? It is good. What's the chance again? You guys up on our stage, then? What do you reckon?
No chance.
No,
I don't think so.
On a Friday?
I don't think I did. Perhaps we get up there on a Wednesday. I hope Reedy's watching this. I hope you're watching this, Reedy.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I did put our links into the Steel Arch and the Steelhouse.
All right.
So yeah, I reckon it'd be great to get you guys up on it, because that's what we need, isn't it? We need because they do support local bands, don't they? So we need to get local. Maybe they open up on a Thursday night, because Friday night used to be local band night, didn't it? And then Saturday and Sunday was the kind of like the main festival. And where it's grown, Friday night is as big as a Saturday night now. So maybe they need to open it up on a Thursday and get the homegrown bands back on there again.
I did ask Max back in the day. I said, look, we play the Monday, man. When
everybody's leaving.
We don't mind. We'll play on a Wednesday, we'll play on a Monday, and we'll fix it. But I knew Max when Max was about 15, because I sort of auditioned for a band in Cwmbran. A guy called Andy Lee, a guy called Andy Minahan, Max, Muzz, Steve Murray, and myself. And I didn't even have a PA, man, so they were all jamming it out. So I got to meet Max a long, long time ago. And I've seen him every few years. We bump into him and stuff. And I didn't realize that sort of the Steelhouse was his festival.
Okay.
But what he's done and what he's achieved up there is fantastic. And I sincerely mean, he's a lovely boy. I've only met him a handful of times. Obviously, I know Max, and I think, you know, credit to them, and from where they've taken our festival, which just sort of covers bands and to where they are now, it's just phenomenal. It's great for the area as well, man, you know.
Yeah, it is good.
Local economy, isn't it? Yeah,
it's brilliant. It's awesome.
It is good for the local economy, because nobody comes off the mountain. They're all too ruined.
Yes, it is good. It is very good. It's grown loads, and I think they reckon it was like maybe 6,000 to 10,000 people went through the doors last year, I think, or the year before, obviously, because of COVID last year it was cancelled.
Yeah.
But it is a good festival, and again, some big bands up there as well. Now, I mean, obviously Anthrax have, you know, they can't travel, unfortunately, but they got Therapy up there. So you know, they're doing all right, aren't they? You know, they've had Saxon up there, they've had Thunder up there.
Yeah.
Well, now Anthrax have pulled out. Maybe you get your band in there, Paul.
That's it.
I don't know.
You know, well, Therapy are going to go up a notch in age. You know what I mean? So every band's going to go up a notch, and then they'll get your band in at the bottom.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I hope you watch it. This has been requested, and there's not very either. I know.
That's right. I reckon it'd be awesome, but it'd be awesome.
We wait and see. You know, like I said, you know, I came back to music basically. I had a phone call about 3 years ago. Dak and said, "Look, do you want to come and jam?" I got a bit of damage to my voice that I've had through other silly things that I was doing, and I thought, oh no, it's not for me really. But we jammed, and it just seemed to be. It was nice to get out the house, you know. And then we played a gig with Bag of Bones and a couple of other little bands up in Abersucken in the bottom of the White Hart or the White Hart, that's right. And it was like it was rammed in there. It was floor to ceiling, you know. It was like it used to be years ago. And I thought, oh, this is all right. And then it just went from there, really. So, you know, we've gone through a few changes, you know. We've gone through 2 or 3 drummers, which sets you back either to, you know, each time. And we changed the bass player. So Glyn, who plays bass, was in the original band that I was in. One of the band, they all left, and then.
Oh right, yeah.
And then Glyn, I hope you're watching this. So Glyn was playing bass back in the day. Then
that's not Boomerang Glyn, is it?
No, Glyn Mason. He was in Crowsaw.
Boomerang Glyn, I mean, because he came back to you.
Oh right, okay. Yeah. We laugh about it, you know, but it's nice to build those bridges again. And you know, I don't cause drama. I don't, you know, I don't need much. No.
That's cool. So how long was your break then between obviously coming back 3 years ago?
Oh, well, we did get together about 10 years before that. Just played one gig and just had a little bit of a jam, but I was too busy with my work. So, but really, I don't know, 20 years.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah. I don't know. So when I saw you down in Swansea then, so that would have been about 3 years ago, you were probably pretty fresh back at it then, was you?
Yeah, you could have probably told by how bad we were. We probably were, to be in all fairness. We were just getting back to it, you know. Yeah,
because I was, I think Departed were there that night as well, wasn't they? So Departed, Mark Pascal's band, I think, might have been that night, maybe.
I don't know.
Because I was disappointed. It was such a poor turnout for that Fringe Festival. You know, we stayed down there for the weekend, for the 3 nights, and you know, it's local music. I think it was like £2 to get in or something. It was ridiculously cheap to get into the venue, and it was just really, really quiet. It, you know, staggered me. I got to be honest, it really staggered me down there.
It's a brilliant venue, you know. Matt down at Hangar 18, bless him, he's trying really hard down there, and it is a great venue. And for anybody watching this there's never been to Hangar 18, get down there and support the people, because it's a great venue. Honestly, he's had some good bands through there, in all fairness, the man, like, he's trying really hard.
There's lots of good venues about, isn't there? Any that you haven't played in that you'd like to play in? Obviously Download.
That'd be nice, yeah. Hammersmith Odeon, any of the old arenas, be fair, you know. Yeah.
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it. Yeah. Any venue that holds more than 50 is good, like, you know.
Yeah, that's it.
We play the full box, man. We as long as we're out there doing it, we enjoy it. Whether or not, I mean, sometimes you get the gigs, it is disappointing when there's a handful of people, but then you can play the following night and just turn up at a venue and it's rammed, and you think, oh yeah, this is great, you know.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, isn't it? That's what it's all about. So I've got a question which Terry won't probably get. So why no socks? Why no socks? Barefoot when he sings.
Yeah, it's nice to be grounded.
No shoes.
Yeah. Like my own socks on now. So I don't know. It's just I love nature, and I love the environment and things like that. You know, I'm not a crusty. I'm not a flat out hippie. Just a little bit, but I just it makes you connect. I don't know whether or not it sounds nuts. takes me frigging hours to clean my feet after some of these venues.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
And I jumped off the stage in fuel and just landed on somebody's pint glass. That wasn't good.
Oh. Fucking bleed to death.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Well, you did the same at Hangar 18, and they had the railings at the front, so you had to clear the railings as well to get over.
Road man, yeah, get off it. You know?
I do remember. That was cool.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
So one bit we haven't touched on is like your MMA fighting, which I'm really intrigued at. So obviously, I guess you did that whilst you had a sabbatical from singing. Then was it?
Yeah. So that's something that should never have happened, right? That was just one of them things I'd done. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and so I played rugby for Blaenavon. I love that club dearly. My heart and soul is in that club. I love them, right? And we had a guy that used to play rugby that disappeared for a while, and then he came back, and his name is Carl Parker. And if you see Jack Shaw or any of the guys fighting the UFC now, Jack Marshman, Carl Bot Parker is in the corner. He's a very good friend of mine, and he's very, very good at MMA. He's a very good wrestler, very good technically at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And Carl came back to the club, had one game, did everything right. They call him Chocolate. He's good looking. Everything he touches turns to gold. He played this game for us. He scored a winning try. You know, he dropped gold, took a drop goal from halfway and all this crazy stuff, won us the game. And anyway, after the game, he said, "Oh, Carl, why did you come back and play?" And he said, "Oh, I'm doing this grappling." So I laughed at him. I was 17 stone 10 at the time. He was 12 and a half stone. So I said, "What's this grappling?" He said, "Well, why didn't you come to the gym? Perhaps the leisure centre on Tuesday. We were like, go with my brother." He said, "Because there's not too many people doing it." He said, "And I'll show you some moves." And I thought, right, okay. I'm quite aggressive on the rugby field, so I thought I'm just going to go up there and just bust him up for fun. It's going to be a laugh, Of course, I went up there. He absolutely destroyed me, choked me out with my own collars and my cuffs and everything else, and just busted me up. And I thought, wow, this is so intimidating and so embarrassing. And if a guy that's 5.5 stone or 4.5 stone lighter than you can do this to you, in the real world, it's frightening. And it was scary because you gas.
Yeah.
When somebody side mounts you and they're dropping the blade across your face, you gas and you get that burst of adrenaline, and then you've got nothing. You're fatigued. So I came up from there destroyed, really, because he just busted me up for fun. He shoved my head at my own ass, and so I thought, I'll come again. So we started training, and then after about 2 or 3 months, I thought I'm going to enter some sort of grappling competition. So because I was quite big at that particular time, I was in an open category, so I was fighting guys 20 stone, but we weren't striking. We were just grappling, basically like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but without the gi on. Bars, locks, knee locks. So I did that for a little bit, and then the club started to get really popular. And then a guy turned up called Paul Jenkins, Paul Hands and Stone Jenkins. He's had like 100 cage fights. And he started coming to the gym, and he said, "Look," he said, "I think you'd be really good at the MMA. He said, "Your ground game is great. What do you think?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm a pacifist, man. I don't like people in the face. I get a bit from rugby feel like, on a slide, a bit sneaky." But he said, "Well, Ian Freeman is going to put a show on in Cardiff. And have you ever heard of Ian Freeman?"
No, I haven't.
Ian Freeman, he fought in the UFC, Ultimate Fighting. So he said, "Well, I've given Ian your number and expect a phone call from him." So I just laughed that off. So within a couple of days then, Ian Freeman actually rang me up, and he said, "Look, Paul," he said, "I've been given your number by Paul Jenkins. We're going to bring the very first professional cage fight to come to Wales as there's ever been. It's going to be in Cardiff Bay." He said, "I'd like you to fight on it." And this was around the October time, and the fight was February. And basically, I was blown away. I thought, "Wow, Christ, I got 5 months to learn some stand-up, So I said, "Can I have a couple of days to decide?" And he said, "Well, it will just be a couple of days, but yeah, like I'll let you have a think about what you want to do." So I spoke with Carl. spoke with a few other boys, and they all said you're mental because you're going to be fighting pro rules. You've never done anything like this before. There is no always bad. Things were different then. You could kick people in the head as you were stood up. They've changed the rules.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Back then, you could just crack on. The only rules were no fish hooking, no kicking in the balls, obviously, and no breaking one finger. You could break two fingers, but you couldn't just snap one off. Thank the Lord. So, I thought, I'll have a crack at it. So I said to Ian, I'll do it. So I trained, obviously, with Carl at the gym in Blaenavon for the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. There was a wrestler that I used to train with come down. I trained with a couple of guys from the Great Britain Judo Squad in Sophia Gardens. And then I trained at Jenkins's gym, which is now called Dogs of War, but it was called something else then, up in Penarth. They were flat out Muay Thai grappling gym, so combat grappling. So I went down there and I was just getting beaten up for fun. I'd come out of there concussed. I would drive through those tunnels by the IKEA place, and there would be like 6 of them. I didn't know which one to drive through. I'd be so battered, like. I took that fight, and it went quite well. I won the fight in 2 minutes 28 seconds. I knocked the good guy out, and unfortunately, some bad news. I had just 2 weeks ago, he passed away.
Oh no.
Okay.
Neil Hall, his name is. So bless him. If anybody's watching and knows him,
Yeah.
I'm really devastated because I didn't know him. I met him before the fight, and obviously, the weigh-in, you see the doctor, and you've got to stand up and do all this. And then I had a pint with him after, but I had a message from his family. I seen it up there, and I'm really sad,
That's bad.
But I won that fight, and then I thought, this is all right. So then I entered a British competition then for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu without the gi, and I won an open weight. I won the open title for that, so I became British champion. Then I carried on with the cage fighting. We were due to fight a Russian team. They put a British team together, which is Michael Bisping. I don't know whether you
know Bisping.
Yeah.
So he was in the team. It was myself, a guy called Andrew Bridges, who was my training partner. There was a bunch of guys from Scotland, a couple of guys from Ireland, and what we were looking to do was to physically get a British team together, bring over these Russian guys, and then what we would do, we would have a fight off against them. They would call it Great Britain against Russia or whatever. So like 2 or 3 weeks before the actual fight, I got a phone call from Ian, say, look, your fight is off. The Russians couldn't get visas. The only guys that could physically get visas were the first aid guys. So, but I've got you lined up with a fighter, he said. I said, oh, nice. He said, what weight do you? So I cut my weight, and I was fighting at 13 stone 10 or 13 stone 12. He said, he's a little bit bigger than that. So if you want to put a couple of pounds on, crack on. So, so I'd already cut my weight. So I fought this guy called Adam Brown. He was a wrestler. He was massive. Like he wasn't very tall. He's about 5'10", but I'd give him 3 stone, I expect. He was he was a full-on bodybuilder. And I can remember shaking his hand in the middle of the cage, and he just said, I'm going to batter you. And I thought, thanks for that. So that all kicked off. That went all right. I knocked him out in 6 minutes.
Did it? Good stuff.
Yeah.
Lucky, good fight.
So then I had a couple more fights. Then I won another British title with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then I don't know. I don't know. It's not who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's here if I need it, but I don't go looking for it. And I'm not that type of bloke. I'm a bit of a softie, really. I just thought, and my wife's a flat out pacifist, and she was like, knock it in the head. So I did. I walked away from it, and I had some offers to go and sort of train people and coach kids and stuff, but it's something I didn't really want to do.
Yeah. I think you find that with jiu-jitsu guys, to be honest. I mean, I played around with jiu-jitsu when I was younger, from the time I was like 16, 17 till I was about 20, And I used to train. You're frozen on me. Can you hear me? You're back. And I used to train under Steve Newitt in Cumbrand,
Yeah.
And one of my best friends became a second-dan black belt, and he's the same, You never want to cause any trouble. You know, it's like, and you know you've got it in your pocket, and you really want to walk away from it, and it's like, yeah, you know, and it's a funny feeling, I think.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I did martial arts, but I never ever got into you know, kind of like UFC and all that sort of stuff. It was semi-contact. You know what I mean? So I just did like classical martial arts. It's completely different. I mean, if I had somebody on the other side of the ring wanted to rip my head off, I would have run the other way, I think, definitely.
Yeah. David underestimates himself, really. He's also a black belt in karate, you know.
Yeah, there's no way to run when you're in there.
No, there's not. No.
I did try running a few times, but I didn't get very far. You know?
That was the advantage I did have. I was very, very quick. So they would have, perhaps I could have kept away from him for 6 minutes, driving.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I packed that in. Then I went back to playing rugby then. And I was captain of Blenavon. I was 42, I think, when I packed it in. But I dislocated and snapped my kneecap, and that was the end of it.
Yeah. So jumping off stage really helps out then.
Oh, mate. Yeah, it's not very good at all. That's why they got to carry me off at the end of the night. Well, a wheelchair is on the side, so I wheel myself out, you know.
Yeah. So how many fights did you have then, Paul, in the end, on your record or whatever? 5 fights, is that?
5-0. 5-0.
Yeah, 5-0, is it?
Oh, that's cool. Good, man.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's awesome, isn't it? Because I did see one of them. There was one that was shared on. It was either shared on Facebook or it might have been shared on YouTube, and it was you and your buddy, and so I watched both the fights, and I don't know who you fought against, but you smashed the shit out of him. So I don't know which fight that was. I was watching it thinking, Jesus Christ, I wouldn't want to be on the bottom of that.
to be honest with you, I haven't got anything we fight in, really. There's one DVD I got up there I had given me called Pride and Glory, I think it's called. Yeah, it's up there. But other than that, I haven't got any videos of me fighting at all, which is pity. You got loads of photos.
Yeah.
And somebody going like that, and all my eyes.
Oh, Rocky pictures.
Yeah. Elbows.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? It's a shame. There's probably going to be some amateur footage about somewhere. We'll have to see whether we can, if anybody on the pod watches the podcast and send it forward, that'd be cool.
I don't know. It's not like now, is it? Where everything's fucking recorded on a cell phone.
Yeah, you know? I know. It's the trouble, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is the trouble, isn't it? Because it's like you said, social media is everywhere now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You got us pair of ball bags on it.
It's all right. It's great, and it's great to see somebody doing something, you know, and being active, you know.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I did say to the missus, because me and Terry were talking about it for a while, and I did say to her, yes, I wish we had done it far earlier, because I really enjoyed it. I really, I didn't think I would, because when Terry suggested, I thought I'm not like a networker. Do you know what I mean? So like because I like in my jobs and everything, I always have to network, and it's kind of like not me. Yeah. But I think talking to people that we've got similar interests in is, you know, it's just like it is CHOPSING, isn't it? So you know, I've really enjoyed it. It's really good fun. So I do wish, kind of like when lockdown started, we started it then. Do you know what I mean? But
well, I was on to you about it, but
I knew you were, and I was like, I just didn't have the balls or courage to have a crack at it at that time. Do you know what I mean? So
there's loads of bands that they'd love to do this, like the guys from Kraken, or I dare say like the guys from Those Damn Crows. You know, they're very approachable people, aren't they? You know.
Yeah.
They got their own podcast, haven't they? But
but they can speak to you, can't they? Max probably, really. You know.
Yeah. That's it, isn't it?
You know.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we'll have to get in touch with them. I think I dropped them a mail the other day, but I haven't had nothing back yet. But there's plenty of Welsh bands out there that are doing good things at the moment.
Yeah, there are.
And not everybody's as fucking pretentious as Kelly Jones, you know.
Never heard of
that. That's right. So one of the other things you're into, and that I watch you doing a lot on Facebook, and I quite enjoy, is your wild camping.
Oh, cutting the keeper.
Yeah, but you tend to do it when it's like minus 20 degrees and hammering down with rain or snow on the ground. So what's all that about then?
You know, you've got to have a release in your life. I think, you know, I'm not doing the scrapping anymore. I'm not playing rugby. So, and I suffer with you know, if I'm stuck in the house, I you know, the walls come in on me.
Is that from growing up on a farm, you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. So I tend to try and pit myself against nature, really. I camp out in the snow. I don't particularly take an awful lot of stuff. I take a tarp, 2 or 3 season sleeping bag, and I build a shelter, build a firewall. I wouldn't say I'm a pagan per se, but I definitely am on that sort of wavelength. You know what I mean? I love nature. I love shamanic drumming and anything like that. You know?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I love meditation and all that.
So your family still own a farm then, or?
No, it's gone. My brother has the land now. So
All right. So where'd you go camping then?
Anyway,
Just anywhere.
I was flat out through the COVID thing because that didn't apply to me. I was one of the lucky ones.
Okay. You know? So trespassing.
Sorry, fair, you know. No, that's
You'll have the fucking farmer after you, mate.
There's ways around that. So you dig a Dakota fire, what they call. So you dig 2 pits and you put a tunnel through it, and then you can light the fire. There's no smoke.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen it on Bear Grylls, I think.
Bring grills or the plastic. Oh, yeah.
Bring grills, yeah.
I'm more of an Ed Stafford man.
I've seen him too, yeah.
Yeah, I got a man crush on Ed Stafford. I think the guy
really?
He's a legend. So yeah, I bought myself a Paul Molly tent, so I could take my kids, and I've got a titanium stove with the flat packs to about the size of an A4 book, you know.
Yeah.
So I could take that out, set that up. We camp. But other than that, just get out all. You know, I've got it wrong. I've been to places where I camped in North Wales when Storm Frank came at Christmas about 6 or 7 years ago. And my wife dropped me off, and I just got stranded out there, and all the trees were being blown down and stuff. It was mental.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I've camped in hammocks and not tied them off properly, and it's just you sleeping in a puddle basically. It's just full of water. Yeah, I make shelters that are not waterproof in any particular way, and you lie there, and all the rain's dropping on your forehead and stuff.
So you're a good candidate for the island then?
Beg your pardon?
I said, so you're a good candidate for the island.
I'd love to do something like that.
Yeah, it's great. I want to do that as well.
Yeah, I'd love to do something like that. But the trouble is, you get all these academics on there that have never done a day's work in their life.
Yeah.
Trying to marshal these guys or trying to get them to do anything is a bit difficult.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, I watch it and I'm like, I mean, when I was a kid, I ended up sleeping in a tent for a couple of years because there was too many people living in my mother's house, you know, David and his fucking family, and my grandfather was living there as well.
First up, best dressed, was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you know. So I went and fucked off, and I was sleeping in a tent for a while, and I built this hut in the woods, you know, as well. Yeah. And we, you know, me and my buddy, like, actually, he's the fucking second dan in ju-jitsu now. We were doing this tent thing, and you know, it was the old days when you used to have the bacon and eggs and milk delivered on your doorstep. So we never went hungry, like. But yeah, looking at the island, I mean, you watch these people, and it's like, how are you so fucking stupid? You know, why can't you catch the fucking rain? And it's simple shit.
Yeah, this is it. You know, yeah, there's a lot of good kit out there now. I got like a Sawyer filtration straw.
Right.
So just you haven't got to take water with you. You can just suck it up out of muddy puddles or wherever, you know.
Yeah.
Kills a lot of the bacteria. I'm going camping actually Thursday down to West Wales, and we'll camp in the dunes down there, me and my buddy. Then we just set out traps, and then we'll just trap and we'll fish.
Yeah.
Just
that's great.
Just that air of freedom, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
I'd come down with it if they had a McDonald's around the corner. I'd be all right now.
Well, they probably have, Dave.
Yeah,
to be honest, they got fucking McDonald's everywhere.
It's north of St. David's on one of the coves up there.
Oh, so it's beautiful there, mine, isn't it?
Yeah, there won't be an awful lot. We'll be tucked away out in the middle of nowhere. So
yeah, nice.
Maybe there's a KFC then.
Oh, that's awesome. So what do you take with you when you go camping then? In total, because are you sort of like just rucksacked up, and that's kind of like all you got?
Oh, all right. So a couple of years ago, it was I love camping on a solstice, whether or not it's winter solstice. I used to camp down in Avebury, and I love camping on ancient hill forts. Where we live here in these valleys, there are 48 hill forts. Only 3 have been excavated. That's the place called Tynergaya, Lodge Hill, which is in Cullion, and the other one, of course, is Trem-Tumbalam. So Trem-Tumbalam, they used to hold court in Trem-Tumbalam. So behind Cumbran is a place called Cwm Can. So Cwm is valley. Cain, the word Cain means burial. So Cumbran is Valley of the Crow. Cwm Can is Valley of the Dead. So they seem to think back in the day that when they held court on that mountain, if you were bad, they would be, they would end up in Cwm Can. If you were a good boy, you walked on the front, you'd be in Cumbran. But I love camping on all these like hill forts. The energy in these places is insane, you know. So I get a lot of that as well, I suppose.
Nice. Oh, that's cool, isn't it? It is nice. It is nice. So have your kids done wild camping with you yet?
Oh yeah, flat out with it. So I tend to take a bit more kit with the kids. Typically, if I go on my own, I take a woolen blanket, my survivals, my straw. Sometimes I take a basher, or sometimes I don't take anything. I'm been a vegetarian for the last year because we couldn't afford meat during the COVID lockdown. You know,
that's it.
Fight over the nearest thing we come to steak with sausages now. Where I was like, yeah, I become a veggie. So whereas before we would catch squirrels or whatever we could, and we'd eat them, or frogs, bust a few frogs and just pull the legs off them. Rabbits, it's a bit difficult now. So I tend to either take army ration packs, or freeze dried food, or just vegetables and make curry up from scratch, things like that, you know. Foraging, you know, but you got to be careful with mushrooms and things because some, you know, they all look the same, but they you know.
Yeah, they give you hallucinogenics.
The ones with the top on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, getting chased by frogs all night
with their legs cut off.
So yeah, I love caving as well. So I go with a guy called Max Hobbs, and he's massively into caving. So we tend to go camp and then we go caving as well.
All right,
I take my kids as well doing that. It's good.
Yeah, I got a cousin that does caving as well. Yeah, he always posts his photos on Facebook, and Ashman, his name is.
I'm not a fan of being off the floor. Like if I had to jump out of the back of a plane, they might as well just shoot me and kick me out. I couldn't do it. I haven't got the minerals for that, boys, at all. But like with regards to claustrophobia and things, I don't suffer with that at all. So I mean, I've gone through gaps where I've literally had to be stretched out like this, and they've had to sort of pull me through them, you know.
My cousin was caving. I don't know if you know. Well, you probably wouldn't know him anyway. But Kieran Ashman, he broke his kneecap. They were down on the ground somewhere, and he slipped and fell and broke his kneecap in half. And then they had to get the fucking rescue team in there to get him out. You know. I don't fancy that. Like.
No, it is a bit mad. I mean, Max takes me to cave systems that are quite easy, really.
Oh, right, okay.
And I am a novice. I wouldn't say I'm a caver. It's just something I like to do and get my kids into, you know.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it's good fun. I only ever done it once as part of, it was on like a outward bound sort of course when you're apprentice.
All right.
You did the old climbing up the mountain, abseiling, and part of that was potholing as well. And that was good fun. It was a good laugh, but it was kind of like, I don't know, 50 of us going through at the same time, do you know what I mean? So you're pretty safe, innit?
Yeah.
So but it was good fun. I can't remember what it was now.
Cheddar.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yo.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But it's good fun. It was good fun. But we're the same. Me and Terry were talking about heights before you came on, and neither of us are particularly happy about heights because somebody got stuck on a roller coaster and they had to get like extracted off the roller coaster. It was definitely it for me.
Oh,
for me. No, me. Definitely.
Right.
Cool. Okay. I think I've exhausted all my topics. I don't know if there's anything you want to talk about, Ted.
No, I've had a pretty good. I think we've got to know you a bit better, Paul.
Yeah, a bit odd.
Yeah, well, not really. I don't know. I mean, I know, I'm pretty much the same age as you, and
you're a lot older than me, Ted. Come on.
You do look younger than me, but that's probably because of my facial hair. And but yeah, we probably, I don't know, we probably brushed past somewhere along the line a long time ago, I expect.
100%. Well, if you're from Cwmbran, do you know Andy Minahan?
No, the name doesn't ring a bell.
Andy,
you played rugby, so do you know Scott Crosby?
Absolutely, yeah, I know Scott.
Yeah. Well, he married my cousin, so.
All right.
Nicola.
Is that the girl you went to America for?
No, that was no. I think did they emigrate? I can't remember. Did Nicola emigrate, Dave?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Know, but he married Nicola, didn't he, Scott?
Yeah.
Like fucking 30 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And they had a couple of kids. And then he fucked off, didn't he? Did he go to Canada, I think, didn't he?
I don't know.
I haven't seen Scott for a long time, but yeah, I played rugby against him. He played for Cwmbran. I played for the Garn. And then when the Garn got disbanded for being a bit naughty in the youth, I ended up going to Cwmbran for a couple of games.
Yeah.
I played in the districts with him and things like that,
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, he's a good player, Scott.
Yeah, he's a nice boy as well,
Yeah, really nice. Yeah. And a couple of boys from Avadrunas. I know Nathan Parker and
Avadrunas,
yeah. Yeah, there's a few. Terry Jones, he's dead now. Died a couple of years ago. He moved to Scotland, but there's Richards. Yeah, but Scott anyway, so. Yeah, maybe we bump into each other somewhere along the line.
Oh, definitely. We'll have to come out to a show or something,
Yeah, I've got to get out of Holland first, man. We're still stuck here, so we're not allowed to travel, and it's just a nightmare.
Proper lockdown you're in, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the curfew was being lifted this week. Going tonight is the last night because we're not allowed out on the streets after 10 o'clock, at night.
That's mad for Amsterdam as well, isn't it? Because most of them are out after 10 o'clock, and they in Amsterdam, and the
rest
So is that working?
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's really bad over here. Well, things are starting to shift a little bit now, but it's still slow progress. We're still being advised not to travel until the middle of May, and the lockdown is being a bit more relaxed. So, but I went to the toy shop. I took my kid to the toy shop the other day to buy a friend a birthday present, and she said, "Oh, have you got an appointment?" And I was like, "No, do I need an appointment? I thought that was all stopped now, And she said, "Oh, I'll just write you in." And so yes, it's still a bit strict.
The world's gone nuts, mate. Absolute nuts. I mean,
yeah,
the percentage of people that are dying, the way that they've handled it all is just so wrong, and it makes me wonder how many people have died because they haven't been able to have their operations, or they haven't been able to have their treatments.
Also,
you'll never see that statistic, but I think it's out there, and it would be quite large. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, like the little group of people that I bother with within the bushcraft, a lot of them have had issues, and I've helped people out. I bought people kits to take them out with me because they suffered with issues, mental issues.
Yeah.
And taking them out, that's where you do it, because what it does is straightens you out.
Yeah.
And it strips away all the mundane things that you take for granted. And when you're out there on your own, it's just you and nature.
Yeah.
It takes you back to who you really are. And and that's another thing. That's why I do it, to be fair, boys. And like I say, I think this in particular has highlighted suicides. And like, if there's anybody watching this and they want to come out camping with me or do whatever, just stick my link up on you, Dave, and you're more than welcome. I have all the gear. I will take you. You can, whatever, with going to tent or on bivvy, whatever you want to do. More than welcome. Take anybody.
Yeah, cool.
Help anybody.
Brilliant.
Cool.
No, it's good. Yeah, I know it's been
the money, of course. No, free.
Yeah, it's been a tough 18 months, hasn't it, for a lot of people. So, and the one thing that's got me through it is music, to be honest, watching people's podcasts and, live music on the on Facebook and all that, and it's sort of kept me connected with the music, because that's kind of like what I've missed a lot of. Obviously family, but my main hobby then outside that has been music, going to gigs and, you know, mingling with festival goers and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, I've missed that so much. But, you know, watching people on Facebook has definitely helped. Definitely. So yeah, and talking to you, of course. Yeah.
And now talking to Paul as well. So
that's it. That's it. Yeah.
This in particular, you know, must have had a massive impact on you, Dave, really, because, you know, you can't get out selling your drugs and your crack to the kids.
It's been hard work.
At gigs
the school's
and stuff.
closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the school's closed. It's been really bad for business.
You can't go around selling separate fags to the kids for 5 pence a time, things like
5 pence and more than that now, isn't they?
Yeah,
they were 5 pence when I was in school.
Yeah,
55. Then probably more like about £3 each now.
Yeah, £3 and a match. You get a free match with it as well.
Yeah,
that's an exploding one, so you have to buy another one.
Script to spark it up with.
That's right. That's it. So yeah, I can't wait to come out and see some shows. So I'll definitely be coming out and watching you soon, mate. Sweet. I think it might be the Ginani one I might come to first. I think, because that's fairly soon, isn't it? And then I'll have to try. That's October. I was further away then. So the Battle Axe is before that, is it?
Battle Axe is just after that.
Okay.
I think we got some other shows with Scarlet Rebels and Raven Breed.
Yeah.
That's in Fuel, and then I without looking, I look.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Send us. Yeah. Send me when you're gigging, and then I'll post it up in the group chat as well, and then I'll make sure me and Sarah come down and see you, and perhaps you can have a drink with Joe as well, anyway.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll have a few sherbets, like, you know.
Definitely, yeah. Cool. Okay, we'll do that. Excellent. All right then.
All right, cool. All right, thanks for joining us, Paul.
Yeah, man, it's been a blast. Lovely to meet you, Terry.
And you.
And Dave, it's always a pleasure, man.
Yeah, and you, man. Uncle Paul, meet cousin Terry.
He said I'm your uncle, and I didn't know it, so.
Yeah, related without even knowing it.
Exactly. All right then, we'll say goodbye, Paul. Thanks for joining us again, and yeah,
guys.
Anytime you want to come back on and tell us what you got planned, it's no problem.
All right, bless.
Just drop us a link, and then or an email or whatever, and then we'll get you back on.
Yeah,
sweet.
We'll do it. Perhaps I'll interview you at one of your shows or something. Maybe after the gig. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Post down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, you're more than welcome. You know, the guys would be there and they'd welcome that as well, I suppose.
Cool. Okay. That sounds good. Great stuff. Good to speak to you again. Yeah, take care.
You see. Take care.
Thanks, man. There you go.
Here we go. That was good. I spoke to Paul for ages.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, man.
Yeah, he's awesome. Top fella he is. Really top fella. That was just so funny because I hadn't seen him for such a long time. And then me and Sarah went to that Swansea Fringe. And there weren't many people in there. There must have been about 20 people in there. And Paul was playing. And I kept looking at him thinking, I recognise him. And I said to Sarah, I recognise him from somewhere. And I moved a bit closer. I was like, Jesus Christ, it's Paul. I couldn't believe it.
Where did you work with him then? In Girlings or?
He was one of my suppliers. So
right, okay.
Sort of like side by side. So he was like a subcontractor.
Yeah.
So but I worked with him for years and years and years, right up until I left in 2003, I think it was. So I've known him for, since I was a kid, since I was about 18. I probably met him.
Cool.
Maybe 19. So worked with him for a long, long time. And then I bumped into him again at the festivals, but I never ever knew he was singing.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's just mad, isn't it? I knew he was a big rugby player.
Yeah.
Because there was a couple of rugby players that I worked with that knew him really well. So I knew all that sort of side of him, but I never knew he was into the singing. And then a couple of years later, then I come across him again and he was doing MMA fight. I was thinking, Jesus, but he's always been a big lad. Do you know what I mean? So I thought, he's gonna tempt a few people easily. So it's cool. Really, really good to see him again. Really good.
Nice.
Yeah. So I can't wait to catch up one of his gigs. So
it could be good.
Yeah, that's it.
Try and get him on Steelhouse now.
Yeah, we'll get a plug on there, innit?
Try and get all our group to spam the Steelhouse saying they want to see
that's it.
Who knows Didley on there.
Yeah, well, there was a thing on it today. So somebody had put a post saying, "Who do you want on now?" Now Anthrax are pulled out.
Yeah, yeah.
And I didn't want to tell Paul, but I posted Reef.
Oh.
So I'm gonna have to delete that out. But who knows Didley? I'll put him on there. Because I assumed it was going to be a headline of that, because they said headline instead. I'd love to see Reef up there. They're class, absolute awesome live there.
Yeah, but man, get support your local bands and
that's it, isn't it? Yeah, they always did see Steelhouse. They always had Friday night was kind of like they always had like battle of the bands in the local venues.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how.
And then the winner plays the main stage next year, or
yeah, that was it. So, Everyday Heroes ended up. They were the first band on the Friday night.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Friday night. It always used to be more local bands, and then as it started growing bigger. Because like Friday night, there might be 100 people there because it's basically the people turning up, set their tents up, ready for the Saturday.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the Friday night is as big now as the Saturday night. So they, like last year or the year before, they had the Home Nations.
Okay.
So they had a band from Wales, Ireland, Scotland, and England, and that was kind of like the way they did it. And basically, all those bands that played could have all headlined, but these massive wagons ended up headlining. Okay. So they're getting that much bigger now. They could probably do with a Thursday night, a bit like Planet Rockstock do the same. They have small bands on a Thursday night, and they tend to be more intimate gigs as well. Then on Thursday night, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it would be good. It definitely would be good. But and when I saw him on the back, it was funny. That one gig on the back of a wagon. So they basically just got an articulated track.
Yeah, they do that over here.
Yeah, and stuck the band on. It was great.
Yeah.
Fabulous day. That was such a good day.
Yeah.
Really good day because it was sunny and a couple of beers, and they think they had like a burger van outside and stuff.
Yeah, they do it over here. Check the band on a wagon, and they do it like a rock and roll festivals and stuff.
Yeah.
So they have two articulated trailers, and then they have a band on one. They set another band up on the other one, and
they drive them in, is it?
It's just makeshift, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, they're already in,
Okay.
But the thing is, you can pull the curtain on the front while you're setting up from the back,
Yeah, that's
and vice versa. So it's a good idea.
Yeah.
They don't bother doing that, but they usually just set up while the curtains are open.
Yeah, that's it. And then people have a natter. That's cool. That's good. Yeah, can't wait. I'm getting an appetite for my music now. Can't wait to get out there.
I'm getting an appetite for my dinner because I haven't had my dinner yet.
I'm having lasagna tonight. We're having.
Yeah.
Nice. Lasagna and chips. What are you having?
I don't know.
I know Sherry's a bit of a chef, isn't she? So she's probably got something really nice.
I don't know what she's cooking. So. So I'll leave you, Dave.
Yeah. Take care.
Good chatting, and I'll see you again soon.
Tomorrow night. With
tomorrow
another guest.
Oh yeah, we got newly signed band Nova Story tomorrow.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
I don't know. We shouldn't say this because it's going to be fucking rubbish on the continuity, because we might release Nova Story after we release somebody else.
Don't matter, does it?
I don't know. But yeah, we're recording Nova Story tomorrow, so
I'll start wearing plain t-shirts. They'll never know the difference.
And I'd just like to say goodbye to our top fans, Neil, Shannon.
Yes. Get some stars after your names, guys.
Who else has top? Anybody else?
They're the only star ones at the moment.
Okay. All right. So
yeah. Obviously, I'll say a hello to Sam Knight as well from the Big Dirty Birdies. So she's joined us from the Big Dirty band. So she's been posting a lot of our stuff on their page as well, which is cool. So that's really good. So thanks for that, Sam.
Yeah. Oh, the Big Dirty have got a new video coming out at the end of the month. So maybe we can have a watch party. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, right, definitely. All right then. All right. Yeah. Say goodbye. I say goodbye. Say hello to your lovely wife for me. And goodbye. Yeah, I will. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Over and out. Ta-ra, mate. Ta-ra.